Yeah, I remember everything.
Elvin Morey can never forget the day in 2000 he stopped at this light in South Tacoma on his motorcycle en route to work when this truck hit him from behind at high speed. Delaney McClellan admitted he was drinking and driving.
Dear Judge,
Morey reads from his victim's statement.
I laid on the road begging for someone to help me, and he ran away like a coward. And I tried to stand up, and there was no leg.
An adventurous life of mountain climbing, running, cycling changed forever.
I think the thing I miss the most is get choked up, I'm sorry. The thing I missed the most was growing up with your kids and not being a full dad. That hurts. It really does.
Judge Karen Strombaum handed down her sentence here in Pierce County Court, jail time for McClellan, and victims' restitution of $39,450.38. In the 15 years since then, Delaney McClellan has paid only a tiny fraction of that. In fact, McClellan's paid only a little more than $3,100. Maybe he just can't afford any more. Well, that's what the Moreys thought until they found McClellan's Facebook page showing multiple trips to Vegas and elsewhere, casinos, hotel suites, restaurants, tickets to sporting events, and a lot of concerts. We don't know who paid for all this, but the Moreys don't like what they see.
He's enjoying himself here at a great expense of money.
Does McClellan have a job? Look who we found working at a Pierce County hardware store, serving customers, even helping our undercover photographers. Though we've determined McClellan has an income, he pays almost nothing toward his restitution. We followed him one day and asked why.
What's that? Is there a reason you're following me?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I'm Jeff Burnside with the Como 4 Investigators. We want to know what you're doing to pay back the people to whom you owe money for court order restitution.
I'm on private property here, sir.
So if he is working, why isn't someone garnishing his wages? How about if we look up Delaney McClellan? Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Dan Bonnet's job to enforce McClellan's restitution. Nothing in records that says he's working in a hardware store?
No. Nothing.
That's right. The Pierce County Clerk's Office did not know about McClellan's job. How can that be? Bonnet says they no longer have the budget to proactively enforce as many as 10,000 new restitution cases a year. Counties blame the state for transferring enforcement duties onto the counties back in 2003, with less and less money to pay for it. They sign payees to these contracts and send these notices. Pierce County Clerk Kevin Stock says counties can't even afford to mail out monthly invoices anymore.
We just do the best we can with those that want to comply.
More than half, 54%, do not comply. Pierce County sends those cases to a private collection agency, but their failure rate is even worse.
We're not the only ones, and that's what's really sad. You know, it's just so sad.
In fact, among all 39 counties in Washington state, even when defendants are given a decade to pay in full, more than a third still don't. That means of the current total restitution order statewide, tens of millions of dollars will never be paid.
When a judge orders something, does it not mean anything?
Restitution is part of making the victim of a violent crime or a property crime whole. So I think it's fundamental.
James Rogers is King County's chief criminal judge, where he says enforcement is different. They don't use a collection agency.
I think that for certain kinds of people, you need a much more direct encouragement to pay restitution.
A little scarier.
Yes.
He says despite the cost, King County does not hesitate to haul non-payers back into court or threaten to throw them back in jail, especially for those who can afford to pay but don't.
And really, 9 times out of 10, that works.
Two of the big reasons victims like Elvin Morey don't get fully paid: restitution amounts are set with victims in mind, not defendants' ability to pay. So they can be impossibly high, especially for felons who can't get a job. Second, defendants face a mounting 12% interest penalty. In fact, remember that $39,000 restitution sentence for Delaney McClellan? With that 12% annual interest rate over 15 years?
That is the total balance right now.
$264,000.
Correct.
Don't you feel it's legitimate to want to do what the judge wanted you to do and pay back that restitution?
It has nothing to do with the money. It's just the idea and the principle behind it that he should pay for his actions.